Hey everybody, it's me, Ton of Gaming. You know, been around for a while. So, I've decided that I was going to make a quick, small series to introduce everyone to an MMO that I've been playing for a while. In fact, I even played the original Guild Wars 1. And this is Guild Wars 2. And this video is just going to be reasons why you should play Guild Wars 2, because, in all honesty, it's kind of awesome. And then after this, I'm just going to show kind of like a small getting started guide. Nothing that big. Anyway, so one of the first things with Guild Wars 2 that I would like to talk about is something that I personally adore after playing tons of different MMOs, like Star Wars: The Old Republic, let's see what else, there's Lord of the Rings Online, World of Warcraft, there are tons of them. One of the major differences is that with Guild Wars 2, once you decide to buy the game, also this is my character, lovely ain't she, there's no subscription fees, like none, just, you're in. Once, you don't have to pay anything after you buy the game. You can just keep playing as much as you want without much problem. The only time you come in problem is when you come across challenging things in the game. And trust me, some of them are horrible. Just bleh. Those jumping puzzles. Really fun, but will make you sob sometimes. Anyway, the lack of subscription fees, personally, really nice for me, because I feel like I can play without having to play so much every single month. Because when I had the subscription fee, I felt like I had to play more just to get value out of the subscription fee. And in this case, I don't, and so it allows me to play as much as I want in the ways I find fun. Another fun thing about Guild Wars is just so many characters. This is just the basic number of character slots you can have, as I understand, which is 7. This is my level 80, which is the maximum level warrior. They're human, but gotta admit, they look pretty awesome. This is my Norn, which are basically Nordic humans, a lot larger, and, you know, they're just pretty cool. This is the Sylvari. They're one of the more interesting races in the games, which is, they're basically plant people. You can't tell as much because my engineer is completely and utterly decked out in armor. You can only really tell by the top of her head. Also, note, I'll go into the classes more later. This is my human ranger, Arcus. Yay. And then you've got the Char, another one of the races in the game. Nasty little brute, he's a necromancer. Note, this was before I knew that Undertale existed, so ignore that first name. Another Char, and an Asura. Since I recently got the new expansion, Path of Fire, I conveniently have a new character slot, so I can run you through character creation. Here it shows the 5 different races: Char, Human, Norn, Asura, and Sylvari. For this, let's, I don't know, just for an example, let's start with making a Norn. After this, we can choose between the genders. Let's go with a male one. And here is the list of classes. You have the Warrior, which is your basic bash and whacker. You know, understandable. Guardians, the closest thing I can compare them to are Paladins. They are a bit more magic-based, but still heavy fighters. The Revenant was added in the second expansion, Heart of Thorns, which, in the world of Guild Wars 2, there's this thing called the Mists, which is basically the afterlife. The Revenant basically manipulates the Mists as a form of combat. I really enjoy my personal Revenant, the Norn, he saw earlier. There are Rangers. I assume you can get what those are. They have pets, though, which is really fun. Thieves. I'm sure you get what those are. And then there's Engineers. I have an Engineer. I really enjoy them. They do a lot of stuff, like they can make turrets and they have a grenade kit ability, which I absolutely adore. The Necromancer is, well, a Necromancer. You can get some summoning minions type build, but mostly it's just lifesteal and that kind of stuff. Here's the Elementalist, another really creative thing that Guild Wars 2 has, which is the Elementalist has, as I believe, 4 different types of elements that they can use. As they level up, they unlock these different, what are called attunements. I believe you start with the fire attunement, then you get the water, earth, and air attunement. Each one, whenever you attune to one of them, it changes the abilities that your character has. For example, fire attunement with a dagger would give you, like, maybe an ability that called down fire from the sky in the form of a fang, while lightning affinity with a dagger might give you some sort of lightning whip as an ability. Note that why I'm giving the dagger as an example is because another creative thing that Guild Wars 2 does is they make it so that every single ability changes depending on what weapon you're using. If you're using an axe in your main hand and a sword in your offhand, you'll have different abilities than a sword in your main hand and an axe in your offhand. And then there's also the Mesmer. Mesmers are basically illusionists, but they still can do some serious damage. They do a lot of debuffs and stuff like that. For this, I'm going to make a Mesmer. So this is character creation. This is your height slider. Very basic stuff. Let's make this guy kind of short for a Norn. I'll take off their armor just for a better view of the body. I'll go with the more slight physique. And you can even change their skin color from really, really white to really, really dark. It really depends on what you want to do. Personally, I usually stick them around here. The Norn are interesting because you can add tattoos to them, which is kind of fun for character customization. As you can see, there's quite a few options for your tattoos. Though I think I'll go with those tattoos. And then, let's make them that kind of, what color? You know, how about we go with a green? Now, onto the head options. This is just different kind of faces. Some of them are really nice, like that one, and then some of them are, woo boy. I'll go with this one. Then we have tons of hairstyles. Sure, let's go for the Qui-Gon Jinn look. And then accessory colors, currently it's purple. But since, you know, they seem to be going with a green theme, let's do that. Once again, even more customization options. This place has a... Oh my gosh. I did not know that was in the game. But this game has a ton of customization options. You can actually really get into detail with your character. Bushbeard. But really, like, some of these are pretty crazy. Okay. Oh crap. Should I have changed the hair color? Nice black-haired Norse person. Makes total sense. Or maybe we should go for red. That actually looks kind of nice. Sure, let's go with it. Oh crap, actually no, now he looks like Christmas. Not gonna deal with my guy looking like Christmas. Actually, no, sure, fine. Face details, and now you get into all of this crazy stuff where you can like change the eyebrow angle. Personally, I'll just keep him how he is because I like it. I like the purple eyes. So you know what? I'm actually gonna head back and change his tattoo colors and his accessory colors to purple. Because red and purple works nice together too. Sadly, there's no wait, there is purple. Sorry, messed myself up. And we'll keep his purple eyes. Now you can change the nose, the mouth, the chin jaw. And now you can customize their outfit. Let's go with a red trim. Nice purple base like I already have. And then, let's actually change, oops, wrong one. I kinda like that. So, yeah, that looks nice. And then his mask. Nah. Purple base. Red there. Antique gold there. Actually, let's go with the red base. That there, and then the purple on the... Actually, no. Let's just leave that with the antique gold. And then his boots. Let's go with the purple base. Red trim. Antique gold on the rest of it. And there. That's the character customization done. And now we get into part of the stuff that makes Guild Wars 2 really unique in terms of story. It changes, your story as you play through the storyline changes depending on choices you make during character creation. Also, you can get different masks. I'll give him that one. Yeah, Harlequin smile. Okay, this just changes how you interact with characters. There are different interaction options. Like you can be, talk to people and conversation options that are charming, dignified, or ferocious. That I'll make him charming. He's kind of a clown. Okay. So now is part of the stuff that will change your story. If I chose this, I get a different story path than, let's say, I chose this. Strength to defeat ancient foes, cunning to protect the spirits, or intuition to guard the mists. The Norn worship a group of spirits, which is why you would see the cunning to protect the mists. Which I mean the spirits of the wild, derp. I'll choose that. And then here comes an issue which will kickstart your adventures. You can go for a revenge story because you got in a fight and, yeah, you kind of got screwed up. You got drunk and you couldn't remember what you've done. Or you lost a family heirloom. Oh no. Seeing this character, yeah, I totally got drunk. Now another thing that will change your story. What spirit you chose, and you get similar options with all the races related to the races in their character creation. Since I'm a Norn is why I'm getting these specific choices. His spirit's totally gonna be Raven. And now we have him, and we create his name, which, give me a moment to think on, and we'll be back with that. Okay, and here's his name, Rorik Jornsson. Nice little guy. And this is where he gets really cool stuff. It's an opening cinematic, and it changes depending on your story decisions. So cool.
I am Norn, hunter of the wild, born of the free and rugged Shiver Peak Mountains. In the far north, my people fought our greatest enemy, Jorman, a dragon of frost and snow. The dragon broke our pride, but it did not break our spirit. In our last hour, we heard the voices of 4 of the spirits of the wild. Bear, Raven, Snow Leopard, Wolf. They called us south, away from certain annihilation. We founded the Great Lodge of Holbreck and claimed new hunting grounds. Some say we should not fight Jorman. I say the greatest risk is to wager nothing at all. One day a hero will lead us home, and we will break the dragon's icy grip. I weave the skein of wisdom. My cunning confounds lesser foes. Like my ancestors before me, I seek glory. One day, I will take my place among the heroes of the North. The spirits of the wild have given me the gifts of trickery and cleverness. I challenge the skill of my enemy. I am the predator. They are the prey. I am still untested, but already, my deeds have earned me friendship and great respect. Each year, a great hunt is called in Holbreck. Only the best among us are invited to participate. I'll prove my worth with guile, collecting trophies to show my prowess. Then, I will drink and boast of my victories. I accept this challenge. I relish it. Come, danger. Come, adventure. In the lodges and halls of my people, my cunning will be remembered through the ages. This is my story.
So now that we're through that, it starts us off in the beginning sequence. Since, yeah, it's the beginning sequence, which I'm going to be showing with this character later in the video that shows kind of like a getting up and started thing, I'm actually going to cut away and start showing you some other things. Okay, since I've shown you kind of like the basic stuff like that, I'm going to show you other reasons with my high-level character why you just might want to buy the game. And note that everything I did with that Norn is all base game material without any of the expansions so far. Except the Remnant. That came with Heart of Thorns, as I've already said. But all of that so far was just the base game. So you can imagine how much stuff like Heart of Thorns has added and how much Path of Fire, the new expansion coming out, will add. Notably, Path of Fire is probably a really great time to get yourself into the game as well. So, I'm currently in one of the areas that is part of Heart of Thorns. But look at this map. I have not even discovered all of the map. I've only discovered part of it. And yet look at how massive this place is. This is just one city, the home city of the humans. This is the starting area for humans.
That won't help us right now.
Look who's talking.
The Norn,
But you're right.
the Char, the Asura, and the Sylvari. Or, which is a major place within the storyline. And then Maguma, which is where Heart of Thorns takes place. The world is massive, and all of these areas are like you can it's hard to really clear everything out. In fact, I've often tried. And as you can see, I only have a 30% completion in Ark Basin of World Discovery, and my discovery on the entire world is even worse. So, this is currently my character. Looks awesome, right? Especially with where you can actually see their weapon. So, throughout the game, you'll unlock special abilities on this side here, which you can switch out and completely change your gameplay style, which is another one of the reasons that Guild Wars 2 is pretty awesome. First of all, you have your elite skills, which are really powerful abilities that you get around level 80, which is max. Which, these people...
I could outrun a centaur.
Those are other players, ignore them. These are the Hounds of Balthazar, one of the human gods, the god of fire and war. Note, that is a world event that is going on in the area right now. Ignore it for now. And they're just really powerful companions that help me fight. I have other abilities equipped, the Doyak Signet, the Signet of Might, and this Healing Signet, which all give me passive effects. This gives me regeneration, this gives me better combat ability, and that makes me take less damage. But I can also activate them to get better abilities. I also just have this really nice stomp ability. So right now I'm wielding the Greatsword. I do a lot of AoE attacks and distance-based attacks, as well as basically abilities to cleave through groups of enemies. But then I can switch because you have two weapon sets that you can have equipped at the same time. And now I'm at the sword, which is more of a direct combat weapon. You have a leap to get you engaged, your basic slashes while you're in combat, a shield bash which will move you charge and stun, and a blocking stance which will stop incoming damage for a short period of time, as well as an attack which once they get under 50% health, does immense amounts of damage. And that would change no matter what weapon I equip, like this rifle. Yeah, it's not that cool, but because it's just a stock weapon. But now that I have the rifle, I have abilities based around doing immense amounts of damage from range. And even the rifle butt ability, which does pretty good damage, but also knocks them away from you. In the top right, you can see my quest. Here is the basic story. This is the choices that I made as my character. I was a commoner, get things through Char. I was born under the sign of Balthazar. I decided to go with shoulder pads instead of a helmet. And I don't know my parents. Then these are all of my starting quests. And here are my quests after that. These are some trophies. And then all of those quests after that. Chapter after chapter after chapter of quests. And once again, this is all base game. Then you get into the Living World seasons. The Living World is how they transition you from expansion to expansion. Living World Season 2, Season 1 was Scarlet's War, but that's not available for replay like Season 2 is how you get into Heart of Thorns. Once again, look how many chapters. And the thing about Living World seasons is they are added for free. You just get them, just as part of the story. The developers of Guild Wars 2 are constantly adding new things to improve the way we enjoy and play and all of this. I'm not even done with the Maguma and Heart of Thorns storyline. And here is all of more chapters to do with it. And then Living World Season 3 has come out to connect to the new Path of Fire. As you can see, my stuff is... I am covered in gear right now. So, which is another interesting thing, is that the crafting system in Guild Wars 2 is really nice, especially since once you start crafting something, it may be just gonna go through your normal, like, maybe WoW time crafting speeds, but the more you craft, it goes faster and faster and faster, so you don't have to sit there staring at that bar fill very slowly, like usual. Okay. You know what? Screw all of this professional stuff. Let me just show you something cool that I picked up now that they've added the mastery system, which is how you advance once you hit level 80. I grabbed one of the masteries that belong to the expansion. That's a tropical bird, by the way. And now watch this. It's a gliding system. And since I unlocked that on one character, it's now unlocked for me on all characters. Which means all of my character, even that Norn you just saw me create, is capable of gliding. Also, those mushrooms are also a mastery. So, now that I've shown you all of this, let's show you something cool with stuff outside of just basic gameplay. Like the Black Lion Trading Company. This serves as your auction house to sell stuff and get money back. And also to buy items that you might want. There's a currency exchange where you can change gold into the premium currency gem. Note that gems are not necessary to do anything special. The only true value to gems is pretty much aesthetics. Like really, gems are not necessary to enjoy the game at all.
Let's see what we can do with these supplies.
Most of it is based on appearance, or as they're called, toys. Sure, you can maybe buy like a few dyes, or you can get the tools that don't break when you mine stuff or harvest plants, but those don't really change your gameplay at all. Speaking of mining and harvesting materials, it brings me to another point. No resource stealing. You see that ore? You mine it. And then somebody else can be mining it right next to you. Unlike stuff like sometimes you see in World of Warcraft, people can't camp resource spawn positions so you don't get any.
But we have
Which, in all honesty, is really nice. So, let me just start gliding around to show you guys something. Woo! Where is the thing that I'm looking for? Note that while you have gliding in Heart of Thorns, these are some of the more annoying enemies in this region. They're called pocket raptors. They're tiny, do a lot of damage, and come in swarms. At least you kill them quickly. Note, because I'm recording while playing at the highest graphics like I do, this is going a bit more slowly than it normally would. That's where the lag's coming from. Okay. Here is what's called a hero challenge. The point of hero challenges is they get you what are called hero points. Hero points allow you to advance your character once again, separate from the level up tree. If you want to look at my characters, these are the basic skills for a warrior. You have, these are just, they unlock new abilities like those for me. And then you get into specializations, which change your traits. Also, once again, this is just basic warrior. This is strength, so I get passives like reckless dodge, which means that when I dodge roll, which you can actually dodge, which is really nice, I damage people. Or I can use the death from above thing.
Watermark could take me at any time.
And then there's all of these different abilities that follow the same chain. Then come the elite specializations, which I have enough points to continue training into. The elite specialization currently for the warrior is the berserker, which completely changes how you play. First passive, you gain a new weapon that you can use, the torch. Then I gain access to berserk mode instead of my basic special adrenaline moves. I get new healing abilities, and all of this stuff that is related to being the berserker. And in the new game, expansion, Path of Fire, they're adding once again a new specialization, the Spellbreaker, which I'm probably going to go into.
Saved who?
This isn't a repeatable happening.
There are achievements, which actually means something in this game because they give you benefits.
Who's talking?
Like once you get enough achievement points, you get a
You're right.
achievement chest. That achievement chest can give you stuff like skills, or money, or bonuses to your account, or skins, stuff like that. The masteries I've already talked about. Currently training in different ones. Here's my Central Tyria, which is the name of the world one. Okay, crafting. I don't do much crafting, it's not how I play. Luckily, I don't need to. So, I am a really weak in terms of crafting weapons. I craft level 5 weapons. Yeah. But then I also do cooking, which cooking gives you stuff like benefits that allow you to gain experience and different other things, while you're out in the field, as well as allowing you to make dyes, which are really rare, so it's kind of nice. And as you can see, there are so many crafting recipes.
Okay. Don't drift out like that.
Let me teleport to a town so I can show you some more of how this works. Also note, unlike in some things, like, let's say, let's just go with our good friend World of Warcraft again. I don't have to go to a certain location and then deal with flying all around to actually get what I want done, to get to places. I can just teleport there at the cost of money. Oh, I'm just gonna teleport into the human home city, which I have fully discovered, as you can see by the small symbol next to the name down here. And I'm gonna go see if I can find myself a crafting station. Note, just because you're different races doesn't mean you can't interact. I can head to the Norn area and do stuff as well, even though I'm human. In fact, I can go into their home city. So let's see.
Where did he... he's
Note,
down at the pub again.
within cities, teleporting is free, so that's always nice. Okay, let's see. Aha, there's the crafters. But first we might want to head over to the bank system, just to check things out for everyone. In all reality, the bank system isn't that new. It's a bank's place where you can stick your stuff. It's just basically a storage box. But it is kind of nice that the bank is shared between all members of basically everybody you've created can. Please load faster. Thank you. All people you've created can interact with the bank. This is my bank. Note that you can buy more bank tabs if you want to, so you have more space. Mine is mostly full of food and other random stuff that... Oh, I didn't know I had that. And other benefits like that. Let's stick that in there. Anyway. And so I have all of this in my bank and I can pull out different things. But also notice this, well, Mom, I have to show you guys this. Birthday blaster. It's an item that I got because I had my character for long enough that they existed for around here, and so the game was called the Birthday Blaster. which shoots cake. And that cake then gives a lot of nice buffs. Cake for everyone. There's a lot of random fun stuff like that in the game. So there's that. Also, one moment. I am part of multiple different guilds. If I can, there's my guild. I am part of a personal one. This is, yeah.
Hello, stranger.
Yay. This is basically my family's personal guild. This isn't like one of the official like major guilds that are like an actual like thing. They're kind of scary and like how intense they are with this. Like they have a whole Discord server, very organized. In fact, they have their own website about how everything functions and rules and stuff. It's pretty cool. So, these are a bunch of upgrades that you can get for your guild once your guild's big enough, like making it so waypoints have a discount, which is the way you teleport. This is another guild I'm part of, same thing. And this over here is the guild bank. Anybody can deposit stuff into the guild bank. Anybody can pull them out. If you have the permissions, which is something that the owner of the guild sets. He can promote people and demote people and change what rank they're at. Your rank changes what you're allowed to do within the confines of the guild. And part of that whole guild system, once you've decided to go on one of the dungeons, because there are 3 different dungeons once Path of Fire comes out, currently 2, that you can go into to get yourself a guild hall for your guild. This is my guild's guild. Pretty awesome, right? And note, you can actually get you can buy stuff to decorate your guild. This is the Roar Room.
Keep a steady eye.
Which allows you to do stuff. I'm not high enough level to actually get us any upgrades because they don't allow me to. I'm kind of I'm too low rank in the guild. But the War Room is basically for the massive PvP world events. This is from one of the special events that you get inside the game. I think it's called the Voxel Box. It's a special event that makes, with a special world that lets you do stuff. Those are things that people added to our guild hall with that. This is our bartender. He allows us to get stuff for our guild hall. Oops, wrong button. Well, not get stuff. He gets enhancements for the guilds. This guy can change the music to your guild hall. That's your guild anthem. Tavern proprietor, which lets you do stuff with the tavern. Oh, I see they took some of the Lunar Festival items and added them in. This is the workshop proprietor.
Goodbye.
And the thing with the workshop is it lets you go to the scribing station. Scribing is one of the crafting proficiencies. Note you can only have so many crafts on the character. Sorry for bopping my mic there. And scribing is for doing stuff with your guild hall. Over here, another really valuable thing in the guilds that your guilds can get. Oh, come on. Ack. But you see these? These are resource synthesizers. Which means I can harvest these for resources. Like this one gives me wood. The other ones haven't given me stuff like snow truffles. This gives me ore. That gives me cloth, berries, leather, herbs. All of these are very valuable. And speaking of which, I'll deposit them all. Which you can just do. You can just click on it and deposit all of the crafting items into there. Into whatever you have. Ooh, this is new. The assembly device. Never seen it before. See, the guild's doing stuff even when I'm not around. It's a miracle. Ah, the arena, where you can mess around with a bunch of people in your guild. Nope, my little follower's holding me around. And yeah. This is our guild hall. It's literally the size of one of the major cities. So yeah, take that in. Over here is one of the main hubs, which is called Lion's Arch. It's basically a city where everyone eventually ends up in this. Here's the entrance to the raid. And it also has stuff like over here. It has portals to each of the major cities. The purpose of the portals is so you don't have to deal with spending the money on teleporting with the waypoints. So, if I ever over Queensdale, you can see that I have it 100% explored. That's because I have found all of the different quests, which are those hearts, the vistas, which are basically really nice cinematic views, the waypoints, and the points of interest, and also the hero points. The thing that I really like with the hearts is they're very different from normal quests that you would get in like World of Warcraft. It's not like, go kill 5 wolves and then bring back their hides. No, it's stuff like, let's teleport. Where's somewhere that I have an empty heart? This is the problem that comes from being good at stuff, like, exploring maps. And I can't even see hearts here anyway. Ooh, a new raid was added. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. As I said, they're always adding stuff. But because the way the hearts work is... Actually, I will just teleport over to the starting human area. Is unlike... Well, sometimes you do get fetch quests, but they're very different from how they are done in other games. Sorry that I'm yawning and stuff. Barely woke up. Wow, this is a longer loading time than I expected. Probably because Queensdale is one of the larger, more active areas as the starting area for the humans. This is just the starting village. The engineer class, nice one. Okay, now that I'm in here, I can show you examples of the hearts. Here, it says, help Fisher Travis maintain the river. I completed this long ago, so I can't show you what it's like to do a heart. I'll go into that in my next video. But there are multiple ways that you can help maintain that river. You can go around and kill the natural beasties in the river. And if you get bored of that, then maybe you go fish. Like, just go and fish stuff. It's literally as simple as that. Shimor Garrison, assist the Seraph. You could do this by killing their enemies, or by retrieving weapons, or anything like that. So, it really is quite unique. Oh, and these symbols over there represent commanders. They're basically people who are leading very large groups of people to go do stuff. Also note, from fully exploring areas, you get rewards. Like as you can see in the Gandaran fields where I've already fully explored, I've gotten a tiny claw, crystal slivers, unidentified dyes, and all of that. Just because I explored the region, so it actually rewards you for exploring. Note, it's gonna cost me like 100 some odd, well not 100 some odd, but silver and some to get into the city, so I'm just gonna, walk in, so I don't have to spend the money. Oh, be quiet, cat. And we should be within Divinity's reach, the main human city, now. So after this, I'm going to be going into PvP, and how all of that works. But first, let's show you crafting.
He's probably down at the pub again.
Teleport to Common's Waypoint, because it's free, and I love free things.
After 100 years without
Is the fair in town, huh?
My grandma.
Here is the crafting center in Divinity's reach. This is Jewelry Center. I don't have a jeweler that I can show you just yet, but here's armor smithing, where you make, armor. Jewelry is stuff like rings and amulets that you use for upgrades. Over here's the tailor. They make cloth armor. Crap. Where is the rest of the crafting people? Over here.
Nah.
This appears to be the cooking center. Yay. This is what my character does, cook. So, here's one of the brilliant things with the crafting system. You don't just learn recipes. You do get basic recipes just by being part of it, but you gain recipes by gathering ingredients or even taking stuff you've already made and then mixing them together. Like, let's say, let's stick butter in here. How about lemons? Ooh, if I was a higher level chef, I could probably stick artichoke in. At which point, I would probably get the recipe that I needed to make that recipe. I'd probably be able to make that recipe. Let's try adding in beets. There's lettuce. One more possible unknown recipe. Sadly, I don't know any other ingredients that would fit in, so I can't do that. Pasta with tomato sauce. Sadly, I don't have anything that would work for that, so I have to just keep trying to experiment and figure out new things. Tangy sauce mix, how about that? Sugar? Tomatoes? Sadly, once again, nothing. Maybe kidney beans. And red meat. And, once again, out of stuff. Note, this is probably mostly because it's been a long time since I've actually made some stuff, so yeah. But this is a lot of the stuff that I've made. Sadly, I'm just not a really good chef because I haven't done that much. But you know what? Sure. Baker's dry ingredients. Craft me 10. And as I said, you see how it gets faster and faster? Also, you get experience for doing this. Oh, I forgot that I got the recipe for yam fritters. I don't have any yams though. So, let's just craft some zucchini bread. Yay. I don't have many eggs because they haven't gone around killing stuff yet to get eggs. Cherry cookies, balls of dough and cherries, chocolate cherries, and all of this stuff. It's really a quite impressive system, especially once you get to higher level and you start making legendary gear. It's pretty awesome. Here's my world completion rating. Look, I've only done about a third of the tasks or hearts in this entire world. I've done about half of the points of interest, half of those. I've explored quite a bit more than I thought, actually. Okay. PvP. There are multiple different kinds of PvP. There are tournaments where you just kind of bash each other, as I understand. You get 5 people on your team, and then you go around and you fight each other. There are reward tracks for the different dungeons that you can go through, all which are actually connected to the story and is really cool. There's a game browser, so you can browse what games you want to go into. And then there's the home. Enter basic PvP. This is just basic PvP. All of this stuff is basic PvP. Which, I don't really... I don't do PvP much. What I do play a lot of is World versus World. The thing about World versus World is that... Also, there's masteries for World versus World. It's massive. In fact, let's see if I can hop in quickly enough and show off some of what World versus World is about. Note, in PvP, to make everything fair, all players are immediately bumped up to level 80 just for the period that they're within PvP, and also, you can only use specific PvP weapons. So this is World versus World. This is the World versus World map called the Eternal Battlegrounds. My server, Yaxbend, is going against the server of Jade Quarry and the server of Maguma. Yes, they're all named after actual places. So, as you can see, it's this massive area. We have trebuchets over here, and this is a castle. We can buy siege weapons and stuff. These are caravans that you can go around and protect as they go to resource camps. Just so you can get better materials for your group. And then go on once you're to, like, let's say, siege Stonemist Castle. And so you have all of this massive area in which you can just go around and fight in. And when I say it's massive, it is massive. For example, you would have groups of... You can have groups of, like, literally 50, 60, 70 players. Just like 50, 60 on your own team, attacking this gate over here on Stoneman's Castle, while you have like 70 of theirs up on the ramparts blocking. And even while you're doing that, you have all your other people who are guarding other caravans and all of that stuff. Now that I've showed you that, though, I'm gonna pop out because... Oh boy, I'm not good at PvP, so... It really would be best for me to just leave. And because of that, I'm gonna pop into Lion's Arch. Because that's where the portal from PvP takes me. Once again, strangely long load times. Ah. Here I am. This, in front of me, is what's called the Fractals of the Mist. The Fractals of a Mist are a special dungeon that's part of the game. I'm not gonna go in yet, because I don't want to, get stuck in. But the whole purpose of the Fractals of the Mist is once you go in, it's basically a collage of a bunch of different dungeons that you go through. And they're really cool and change a lot of stuff while you're in the dungeon. Okay. And while it's not the best work of the game, because in all honesty, this place does have some faults. It's not perfect. In all honesty, it's pretty damn close to it. I'm gonna show you another part of the game, which, while recently added existed in this long before. Also, that was Fort Mariner I just jumped out of. And drop. And now I'm underwater. That's just a little thunderstorm thing. And once again, since I'm underwater, there's underwater combat. And part of underwater combat is the fact that you have even more new weapons. And with those weapons, you have even more different skills that you can use in combat. Currently I'm using a rare gun I found at one point. A spear gun. Cool, right? And that is basically the game in a nutshell. There's also a mail system in case you want to do that. And a party system. There are daily stuff if you want to do that kind of stuff. And it's just this massive world. Over here is one of the dungeons, Citadel of Flame. Is that Horror of the Waves or Honor? Honor of the Waves, okay. This is the final dungeon of the game, which is it is the final quest in the base game storyline, which is the ruined city of Ara. Oh, looks like one of my guild members is all the way down there in Maguma. But this world is massive, and there's so much effort that the creators are putting into it. And they keep putting effort into it consistently, adding new stuff like the masteries with the gliding, new classes with the Revenant and Heart of Thorns, new specializations, entire new map regions. All of Maguma didn't even exist as a playable region before Heart of Thorns. And all of it, this is just shown from so many... You can play it so differently. You could play one Mesmer who uses a greatsword, and then another Mesmer that uses axes. I believe they can use the axe. Shh. They may not. I don't know everything about Mesmers. And then you have the different regions like Ascalon, which was actually originally a human's place, but Ascalon, where the Char live. In the beginning area, you're fighting ghosts, the old ghosts of the humans who used to live in Ascalon. As the humans, you're fighting bandits and centaurs. As the Sylvari, you're fighting the Nightmare Court, a group of corrupted Sylvari who basically want everything to burn and die, as well as the Risen, the undead. And it's the Norn they're fighting, well, the Sons of Jormag, which are the followers of one of the Elder Dragons, which are the major threat in the game right now. The Elder Dragons basically being the biggest, nastiest things you can't imagine. Like, the entire world united just to kill one of them. And there's, like, 6. And that was actually what the Ara mission was, fighting that Elder Dragon. The Sons of Jormag, who you heard, are the followers of Jormag, who you actually heard in the Norn cinematic, who drove the Norn out from way up north, up here in the far Shiver Peaks. What is this? But as you can see, there's still a ton of the map that they have yet to give us. Part of the, part of the new stuff that's coming with Path of Fire is, first of all, a continuation of the story, as well as the addition of mounts. Part of what they're adding with the mounts is actually unique mount skills. Unlike other games where it's just like, oh, I hopped on a mountain, now I move faster. Your mounts will actually traverse the world differently. Like, you'll have the Raptor who can jump, who has this long leap. Or, I believe it's called the Skipper, which jumps really high in the air. There's the Skimmer, which hovers over water, which allows for you to travel quickly over there. There's another thing I believe is called the Jackal, which can go through portals in the world that you wouldn't be able to go through otherwise. And of course, this entire world, you can pretty much play in it however you want. And I personally really enjoy it. And I think all of you would too. And that's the end for basically this video of basically telling you, play the game. It is really awesome. Especially since, you know, they're adding a new expansion. I mean, come on. I've not even finished with this last one. Anyway, I hope you all guys enjoyed. This is Donna Gaming signing out. Praise the Dawn, everybody.